I speedrun Diablo 4, but something crazy happens that breaks the whole run. Stick to the end to find out. Now I start by making my rogue, and the run begins on the first move. Here are the rules for the run, and I'll put them in the description below. The goal is to beat the campaign in one sitting. To be specific, beat the whole campaign in under 35 hours. The beginning is easy, especially since we can use our horse, and after skipping a few cutscenes, we find out that we have Lilith's body juice in us. Next, we gotta beat these crazy cultists out of the boonies, and we meet up with our favorite drunk monk, Loreth. Then, we run with him to the nearest town. Here we talk to the crazy bald lady with bunions, and move on to meet Nyrelle, the most useless NPC throughout the campaign. She's been abandoned by her deadbeat mom, and we help Nyrelle gain the approval she deeply yearns for.
Why would your mother leave you like that?
She wouldn't. Or... I'm sure she had good reason.
But just move on, girl, you could do better. After talking to the bloody aftermath and skipping more of Lilith cutscenes, we confront the mom and ask her where's the milk that she went out to buy with Lilith.
Look at the gifts she's given you.
Turns out, there was no milk. That's crazy. And now we get to our first big boss fight. As you watch the fight, I want to point out that this is my first time running Rogue, but I chose this class because I know that going through the game, I will be underleveled and I need a class that can do damage early on and be mobile. The Rogue has access to 2 dashes and a skill that lets them teleport to an enemy when we're running the Twisting Blades build. Now in this fight, we establish equal rights and lefts to beat the mom. With her out the way, we dash around the forest to find Nyrelle again, and a doggo. And we find Nyrelle again, and run with her to the Horologic Vault. We give her a chant book because Duolingo can't teach you how to speak magic. And then we bang this sucky bussy. And we give Nyrelle another book, then head back to Kilvashad. Hey, it's the bald lady again. She makes us pick up her toys in the snow just to skip the cutscene, and we go back to tell her to clean up her own mess next time. Alright, so we run back to Nyrelle, and now she has us running back to the same dungeon where we killed her mama just to play with her dead body. Turns out, playing with the dead is key to meet the first necromancer Rothma. Now after running around and killing these tumors, cleaning up the whole place, we fight another boss. Build up combo. Fuck, man. Easy. Yeah, I don't care, I'll skip you. Now we run around and go play with Rothma's dead body. And after a little bit, we teleport back to town just to look for Nyrelle again. But now, here's the annoying part. Starting on this bit of the quest line with Yorin, it's filled with unskippable cutscenes. And it's stupid because in the rest of the game, everything else can be skipped except for this specific part. Now we gotta help our friend Yorin. Probably my favorite side NPC besides his father Doran. So we go out and help Yorin with a few chores since his dad grounded him, and we go off to beat this old lady. Now, I'm seeing a pattern here. Is Blizzard trying to tell us something with all of these boss fights? Okay, so now we finish this quest off, get our cutscene skip rights back, and find another good boy to lead us to his master. And looks like he's just hanging in there. Me and Doggo go off to fight a bigger doggo, and after some acts of animal cruelty, the big doggo runs away before we can put him down. And we go see how our boy is hanging. He's dead. So now we ride off to go tell Donan the good news. But we find his crib in shambles. Skip Donan's cutscene and run with him to the tombs. Here he talks about how he's worried about his son, and the connection between Astaroth and Lilith, and after some predictable foreshadowing, cutscene skipping, and riding to the next town, we fight Astaroth, who turns out is Yorin, with a soul stone stuck in his body by Lilith. Now let this be a lesson to Donan and other parents that are too strict with their kids. They do end up rebelling and selling their souls. Anyways, it turns out that demonic dogs don't lick their asses or balls like normal dogs do. I mean, this one has 3 heads. I'm pretty sure each one for each nut would work great.
Donan, I will leave you in peace.
Yeah, do better for the next one, Donan. Come on. After riding in the moonlight, we find Loreth, This man has been sleeping this whole time while I'm fighting literal demons. At this part of the campaign, we are now looking for Lorath's ex-student Elias. Lorath may be a drunk, but unlike Nerel, Lorath can actually do damage. After doing some more running, dashing, boss beating, winning more battles against social injustices, we get into the desert escort sequence. To move things on faster, I just have to clean up the mobs around this camel guy so that he can move us through the desert. But the only struggle I started to feel was my hunger and thirst. I didn't eat or drink much before starting the run so that I wouldn't use the bathroom as much. But with a fuck it we ball mentality, I disciplined myself and focused on finishing the run. We meet Elias and beat him a few times, and here the rogue's mobility really shines when I have to dash around the blood and beat the minions that give him a blood shield. Now the bosses are starting to hit harder and spawning more minions, but Elias was another easy fight. We skip some of the peeping and meet up with our favorite big guy. And this one, I have no words. I'm just disappointed in her like her mother was. No wonder she left. Neril is sleeping on the job and just spends her time reading while we out here fighting for our lives. Whatever, here we go with another boss for social equality. And after this win, here is where the struggle begins. Throughout the campaign, every enemy was either at my level or 1 or 2 levels above. But now, they're a whole 15, 16 levels stronger than me, and I don't have much going for equips. This is where all the battles against social injustices bite back hard with Varthra. To beat Vartha, I had to improve my hit and run skills, but first, I made my rogue grind to 20, so that I can unlock the rogue quests and have inner sight. This skill gives me unlimited energy for 4 seconds, so it'll help me spam my twisting blades on enemy bosses. After upgrading some gear and potions, it was time for a series of rematches. The strat for every boss moving forward was now to play around my traps and go after their minions, in this case the skull soldiers, especially the archers, because whenever they spawn, these arrows are the hardest to dodge in the middle of all this bullet hell. And after 30 minutes of ass whoopings, to me, something just snapped. Something inside of me. I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about beating the world record of 4 hours. I didn't care about being a super runner. I didn't care if I lived. I didn't care about anything. And then it happened. I dodged. I hit. I potioned all the way down to 0 potions and picked up my very last. And she was down to her last third of health. Cleaned up the skeletons, my inner sight turned on, and I just started spamming twisting blades until... Oh, fuck! With this witch beat, we go run with Donen and meet the next hard boss, Molin, the Snake Queen. The struggle with this one is the eyes that turn you to stone and these little snakes that come out of the eggs. The key to this is having enough area to dodge Molin's attacks with the eyes and cleaning up the tiny snakes whenever they pop up, because if you have enough of them in the field, they end up doing the most damage when they gang up. Now I didn't need to break all the eggs, just enough to move around and kill the snakes when I do get knocked into them. But at the same time, I'm struggling with my own fatigue in real life. After 20 minutes of ass whoopings, the easiest to work with was to just start with the snakes in the middle and have Molin launch me to the bottom, to twisting blades, dash, clean up the bottom right eggs, we scrap some more, and I fly to the bottom left. Now here I have enough room to move, and I win the fight easy. We'll just beat the bigger snakes that come up towards the end, but yeah. Fuck yeah! I go back to the town and meet up with the squad. Talk to a tree, and I had to go use the bathroom in real life because I couldn't hold it in anymore. Now we fight Elias again with Thaisa. And besides Donan, I think Thaisa is the most useful NPC because of this magic circle that comes up on the ground. Elias's big attacks are easy to dodge, and it's just the fireballs that come up from the ground and this blood wave that takes up half the platform. These are probably a struggle for me because the colors start to blend together, making it hard to see. After a few deaths and getting my eyes used to the big move colors, we beat Elias for good and start the end of the campaign. Here we escort the crazy bald lady and fight demons that are finally back to our own level. So this was a nice breather before the very end, because let me tell you, that should go crazy. And now, we go to hell. Here, hell's monsters are 20 levels above me, and I just keep dying left and right. Wait, now check out this demon right here that teleports behind the wall. I had to bring this demon to a weird angle at the very top so I can do some damage and hit my twisting blades. But now here in hell you can see why Donan is my favorite NPC. See, Donan has a skill that holds the monsters in place, and I get to do free damage and heal myself. We are reaching the very end, the thing that broke my run. After running through the dream world with some old boss fights, we see our boy Donan dead. But fuck it, we keep going and start the final boss fight of the campaign, Lilith. Now really quick, I messed up the splits when setting this up, but the run actually ends when we talk to Laura at the Firebreak Manor, and then the credits start. Fueled by anger and wanting to get revenge for Donan, we start the Lilith fight. And it's been half an hour, and I got a good idea on how to beat Lilith's first phase. I'm in the zone, I'm hitting, I'm weaving, and you know what, let me just let it play. No! Around 8 hours into the run, I get kicked off the game and my account is locked, just killing the rest of my run. When my account was unlocked, I went back to beat Lilith, and it took me 4 more hours to win. Mainly because the second phase had more stuff around and the ground started to come apart. But we win, I talk to Laura, and the run ends at 12 hours 23 minutes. If you enjoyed this run and this video gets 100 likes, I'll do this same thing again with the Rogue. Subscribe to support the channel, and I appreciate everything you guys do for me.